To me, when I think of a bird dog man, I think of Jim, and I think of these guys out there that have been doing it for 30, 40 years. And if someone asked me if I was a bird dog man, I'd say, no, I'm not a dog man. And then once I think about it, I think, well, yeah, I am. I guess I am. But I always just think of it as someone who's put in 30 years on dogs. Typically on a hunt day, gonna get up pretty early, and you gotta beat the guests there. You gotta catch the horses, saddle them up. You gotta get all the dogs, make sure all the equipment's clean, get everything ready. You gotta figure out what braces you want to use, figure out which way you want to hunt it, and then once the guests get there, let out and try to get as many cubbies up for them as you can.
What I love about bird hunting, well, I've been doing it since I was probably 10 years old. I started with my dad, and I bird hunted with my dad up until 5 years ago. He passed away 4 years ago, and I've hunted with him most of my life, and so it's great to be with him. He taught me how to shoot. We did a lot of skeet shooting together. And so we started out quail hunting. Then when the quail kind of disappeared in Virginia, we started grouse hunting when I was about 18, and my pet dog that I had in college brought back the first grouse I ever killed. My dad said, "Will, your dog just brought back your first grouse." I'll never forget that, and so I've been fortunate to be able to have good hunting most of my life, and it's good to be outdoors. I love to watch the dogs work. I love to shoot, and I love to be with the people that I like to be with. So it all just comes together pretty well, no matter what kind of birds I'm hunting.
From what I can tell, he wanted to do this because of the time he spent with his father hunting wild quail in Virginia when he was young, and I think he's been chasing that ever since he grew up, and he finally had the time to say, I'm gonna make this a reality if I can, and that's what he's doing here. I think he's doing it for his children and for himself, and to kind of keep that tradition alive.
The best way to do it is through tall timbers, who will, if you qualify for their program, that they will give you or sell you, I'm not sure whether it's given or not, but pairs of quail that you put out, and then they hopefully will raise a brood or two, and over the years, maybe a 5-year period or something, you'll end up with some wild quail. But I don't have that much time left, I don't think, and I'm not on their list right now, so I figured the early release was the way to go, and so far it's been very, very good. And when you step into a cubby, most of the time it's just as wild as any wild cubby you'll ever step into.
Honestly, probably the first 4 years of quail hunting I did, I hated it. It was awful. It was a chore. Dad says, "We're going hunting." It's just, all right, let's get out there and be miserable for a little while. And once I started to not see it as a chore and kind of got to do a little bit more of it on my own, it's kind of like in high school when your teacher says, "You got to read this book." You hate that book. You go back a few years later and you read it, and it just blows your mind. It's a tricky deal, and I'm fortunate enough to have a mentor who spent his whole life with bird dogs, and I think he really understands what it takes to get a dog right and to have them not just performing a job for you, but excited to hunt birds and to point them. And it used to be really going out there and bringing down as many birds as I could and having great numbers. And now, as I get more into the dogs, it's watching them work and having a dog that was pretty sloppy and then spend the time to tighten them up and break them and get them to point well, and then killing a bird over a dog that you put the time in on your own. That's awesome. That's the best part. There's a book that was given to me recently that it's called For a Handful of Feathers, and it's about this guy who does essentially what we're doing, but he does it with wild birds down south. And the whole point of the book is all this effort and money and time is put in just for a handful of feathers in the end. And what we'd like to do is what you're talking about and holding wild birds, but it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to have to change the land and maintain it and really be very purposeful in what we do to make that happen.